Okay, so now we're going to dive into the ad graphic itself. So I would say 99% of our ads are just images like this. And like you see here on the screen, we do a little bit of video ads, but I highly recommend that you just start with some simple designs that you can do in Canva. It's a very easy, not a lot of barrier to entry with these kinds of ads. And so I'm just going to walk you through. I want you to make 10 variations. So your first homework is going to be 10 variations of your ads. You're going to need those before you launch anything. So I'm going to walk through each variation. We keep it really simple. As you can see here, the main thing that you need is your mock-up image that you put on your landing page. So once you have that created, you have a lot of your ad already created. So you can see here, it's our mock-up image, the same one that we use on our landing page, and the title of our bundle, right? So it's very simple. We have a little bit of like background color here, but this is our first variation, is just mock-up image with the bundle and title. If you're curious about what the dimensions should be, they are 1200 by 1200. So they're just going to be squares. And yeah, once you have the mockup, you have most of your ad done. So that's the first variation. The second variation,
Can I
oh,
add
go
one
ahead.
thing about this? I just wanted to say that earlier we talked about how the visuals really do the heavy lifting. I think the proof is in the pudding here, which is the fact that some of our best ads are literally just images of what you get and essentially 4 words,
Yep.
right? So look at what's 90% of this. If you just look at this graphic, what is this? It's 90% image, like a 10% word at the top here. So
Yep.
just keep in
Yeah.
mind, because I see so many ads that don't do well and they're very text heavy and you're
Sure.
trying to tell them what they're getting instead of showing them what they're getting.
Sure. Yeah. You want things when you're scrolling through Facebook, this is like, whoa, what is this? This stops people from scrolling. And that's the important part. Words don't necessarily as much.
Yeah.
And one thing before I go on, as Marie and I were talking about earlier, is I know for me, a big part in like my advertising journey, I felt so insecure about what my ads looked like, because I'm like, oh, I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know all the like principles of design. And like everyone always talks about, oh, your ads need to look amazing. And you know what? Like at a certain point, Maria was too busy to help me design ads. And I'm like, I just need to get some ads up there. And I started running them, and things that like Maria would probably have thought were like pretty shitty designs convert really well. She would always like scroll through Instagram, see your ad. She'd be like, I can't believe this is working. And I think that just takes a lot of the pressure off, because if you're not a graphic designer, you may be feeling like, oh, I need to like hire an ads designer, and I need to like, get a really good designer and all this stuff. And that's a lot of pressure. So I just want to take that away from you and say, listen, I am just as bad a designer as anybody. I have no training in graphic design, and the ads that I create that look just like this are highly converting.
And that's
So
what that's going to add too, is like in my experience, the less professional something looks, the better it converts. Same thing goes to like YouTube videos. Like
yeah,
the more casual something is, the more authentic it comes across, and people
sure.
like that. So much of stuff is overproduced right now. So
I think that's a very good point. That's probably why they work so well, is like they're not overproduced.
Mhm.
So this is the first variation. This is the one of our highest converting ads. It runs really well. And then I'm just going to walk through. You're going to see very slight variations. So we're not creating like 15, 10 different, super different ads. We're just creating slight tweaks from this first ad. So the second one here, if you notice the numbers here, they just pop a little bit more. So they're blue and they just stand out. That's the only change that we made. When you're making each variation, you're only going to change one thing. That's very important, because as you're tracking what works and what doesn't, you want to see like what variation was different.
And I
Okay.
just want to make sure that we're really, really clear with that. What you're literally going to do is, if you go back to the very first one, we duplicated the initial ad, right? So we duplicated it, and we only changed one design element. I want to make sure that was really clear. The one thing we're going to change is one design element. That way, if one ad all of a sudden starts to do much better, and the only thing that has been changed is the colors went from like a slight tan to a blue, you know that it's the blue color itself that makes that ad convert better. So don't change 8 things at once. You won't know what's the one thing that made it move. Just want to make sure that was really clear.
Yep.
Cool.
And then here, it's almost like playing spot the difference.
Yeah.
The text appears black. That's the only change. So you can see here
Do you
it
think
was.
you could display this in a grid version? Is that possible to do that in Canva?
I think it is. I think this is it, right?
Yeah, because I almost feel like that might
Or
help.
some of these are actually. I guess we didn't even follow our own rule, because some of these are slightly different, but they're probably not doing as good as our other ones.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't. These ones I think I've turned off a while ago. So okay. So is this helpful like this?
Yeah, just like really, I just want to like a 1 second, like all the different ads at once, and then you can go back
Sure.
to like looking at each one individually.
Okay, so I think we're on, you can see most of them look like this though.
Yeah.
And this one is the same. Okay, so this one is just like the blue one. I think the only thing that's different here is the 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Um, This one here, it's similar with the text up here. It's just a different display of the courses, and this one actually doesn't do as well. That's the cool thing about testing these variations is Facebook makes it very clear which ads are converting and which ones aren't. So it's good to just test things, but this was one where we were testing the mockup and it didn't do as well as them all listed out like this. This one, the numbers are green, or the number bubbles are green. This one, the background is a gradient. Okay, very simple changes. I think this one is the text is black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So subtle, I can't even like notice sometimes what we changed. This one, I think just this color down here, it was the same as this one up here. I actually don't know what the difference is.
The difference is the sizes of the content is different.
That's right. Okay, yeah, there's more courses there. This one, alternating colors.
Which I think that one does really well, right? To me,
this one does really well.
Yeah.
It pops. Right? You can kind of tell. I feel like even if you're not a designer, you can kind of see which ones like stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know. And then lastly, this is black and black. So your very first piece of homework is your ads are going to be 1200 by 1200. You're going to go into Canva. You're going to create a canvas that's 1200 by 1200. You're going to put the title of your product at the top, your course mockup at the bottom. And then if you want to do like a two-tone background color or a slight gradient, nothing crazy as a background, that's great. But these are going to be your very simple ads. And you might be like, what the heck? Like these are, it's so easy. But that's the point, is like that you don't need to overthink this part, because once you've made your mockup image, that's going to be your ad.
And if you're doubting it, well, what's that?
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you're doubting the process or doubting if these ads convert, just remember that if you're in our world because you bought 24 courses for $24, you probably saw this ad, don't even remember that you saw it, and that's why you joined. So
sure.
Please, we have tried so many wackadoodle. Let me just flip me back in here. We have tried so many. Had me left. There we go. So many wackadoodle versions of ads, so many weird images. I probably would cringe to see some of them now. I feel like a big part of the money we spend, in addition to learning all the other things we're going to teach you, but like a lot of that money is going to testing creatives. That's what it's called. So if you want to know the like marketing term for your ad design, it's creatives, right? Mm-hmm. So create. And a lot of the money that we've spent was testing creatives. And really the takeaway is the simpler, the better. And let the visuals do the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah.
My recommendation, this is a wheel you do not need to reinvent. Mm-hmm. Get a 1200 by 1200 box. Add a little bit of text at the top, like 5 or 6 words at the most. Mostly images. Call it. Don't overthink that.
Yeah, and the nice thing is because your offer is now so amazing, it is going to sell itself. Mm-hmm. That's why the ads can be so simple, is because your offer is so good.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's good. And I think the lesson here is this whole video is like 8 minutes long, because it really is that simple. And if you spent, I guarantee you, anybody here that's tried to do ads before has spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours scripting and editing videos if they're making video ads, or designing visuals if they're doing, and hours. And what is the lesson here? It's you were focusing on the wrong part of the puzzle. That's why it didn't work for you. You spent all your time and effort in the ad creative side, when really you should have been working on the product itself and the upsells, and then some of the things we're going to be showing you here. But that's why you get a course like this. It's because it shows you where your effort should be, and it tells you what are the important pieces of the puzzle and what are the not so important pieces of the puzzle. And design is one of those things where you really can just slap it together, as long as you follow our formula for it, because there is a science and a strategy behind that, mostly image, 10% text. But we did that for you. This is a part of the course that you can just turn your brain off and not think about it, and go put that energy in creating a better product and creating better upsells.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. All right. Next video.
All right.